I want to go right to Alex because she was engaged for 11 years.
Okay, I wasn't engaged for 11 years. I was
Sorry, well, I heard
together.
11-year engagement. So you're with a guy for
Yeah.
11 years that didn't turn into an engagement. Can you clarify?
Yeah. So I was with him 11 years, engaged with him for 6 months, and then called that off. So high school sweetheart
Okay.
who turned out not to be such a high
So
school sweetheart.
11 years together, get engaged for 6 months. You said, I'm not having it. I'm out. That was it.
There's more to the story of um, cheating on me with my best friend, who's
Okay.
no longer my best friend. Going back to Sophie's fitness, nutrition, you're trying to bring somebody else into your world who may actually not really be ready or disciplined enough and have the mindset of going in
Mm.
of, okay, I just have my eyes for this one woman. I'm going to build with her rather than you go into a CrossFit sort of environment where, women throwing weights around in sports bras and booty shorts and eyes tend to wander.
Hmm. So that's
So,
where it happened, the CrossFit studio?
yeah.
And that was a nail in the coffin. You're not going to tolerate that.
Not being engaged and then finding out through her husband, that was kind of the nail in the
Oh,
coffin.
so she was
Was
married then.
She was married with an 8-year-old son. So that's where, in one of the topics, can men and women be friends? And it be platonic, and it's just like to an extent. You want to have the trust and faith in your significant other, and then with your best friend, and can't
So
always.
did you at one time believe that men and women could be friends, but you've changed your opinion on that?
My opinion on that is you have to have a very strong-minded and disciplined man. And there has to be a purpose behind that friendship, is what I'm learning. Is that if you need a woman or a man for emotional support, is are you really in touch with yourself entirely if you need that kind of support? I feel like if you're in a relationship, the way that you look at others should be more transactional, in my opinion, now.
If you're in a relationship, the way that you look at others should be transactional. Okay, I think that's a fair statement. Did you end up giving back the engagement ring?
No, I did not.
Ah, why?
Um,
Do you still have it on?
no.
Okay.
I know I don't wear that. That was 2 years ago.
Okay.
I think the ring that I was wearing was like a University of Denver ring
Okay. Yeah, that
that
doesn't look like an engagement ring.
that I got. Yeah, well, it was my fat finger didn't fit on that finger.
Okay.
So, but it is a little bit like, putting a ring on that finger that I personally had made that has more significance is why I still tend to wear
So I
a
always
ring
find
on
that to
that
be an
finger.
interesting question is if the engagement's called off for whatever reason, should the engagement ring be returned? I
I
mean, you obviously think
personally,
that it shouldn't be because you kept it.
I think it depends on the situations. And I
So
know that everybody has different viewpoints, but if you cheated on me, I feel like that ring, and you're right, I still have it. I haven't sold it, but for some people, they want to keep it as a memento or use it for future funds.
do you think that if you got involved with another guy later on down the road and he found out that you had kept the engagement ring and it's still something in your possession, he'd be, pleased about that?
No, I don't.
So, okay. What about the other gals like Ashley and Sophie? What do you think of the notion of an engagement ring? If it's called off, do you keep the ring? Do you return it? Like, what's your position on that and why? Is it
Mm,
circumstantial? Like, if he cheats on you, then you have to keep it, like as a punishment, or
I don't know if I see it as a punishment, but I feel like if I was, me personally, if I was in that situation, I would probably sell it because, I got cheated on after 11 years. So but I feel like I might as well gain something from it But if the other person wants it back, I feel like there's no point in keeping it. Like I'm not, you know, I don't have any strong opinions towards it. If the other person is like really adamant that they need it back in their possession for whatever reason, then I'll give it back. If
What
not,
about you, Sophie? What do you think?
yeah.
That's a really good question. I don't know. I feel like I would return it personally, because when you keep it, you get something out of it, whatever it is. If it's money, I don't care what it is. You are losing something, and if you give it back to him, you are kind of letting go of that past that you had with him. I feel like that's really important for women to be able to let go of something and to be just to be, you know, people need to be able to let go of things. And I think a lot of the times we tend to hold on to things that we think are still possible, but in turn it's ruining our potential future relationships. So like you said, Rich, you know, if you're holding on to this ring and you find a potential partner, what's going to happen if he finds out you're still holding on to this engagement ring? It's obviously going to hurt him. So, you know, letting go of that is super important. So I definitely just give it back.
Yeah, it's a pretty significant gesture to go out. I mean, you know, to shop for one, to buy it, to compare it, to you know, the way that you propose and give it to the woman, you know, typically getting down on the one knee, you looking up. Yeah, like it's a big, you know, it's a big fiasco. So to hold on to that seems like it would be detrimental to a future relationship or a future potential relationship. I think guys would inherently maybe even be disgusted by the fact that it still exists. I don't know. Does that give you some food for thought with that, Alexandra?
I mean, I just never really thought about it, to be honest with you. It's a weird place to keep it. I have it with, being completely honest and transparent with, one of the dog that passed away's ashes that I never opened. So it's a weird notion of not going back into that past, but not knowing what to do with it. So I haven't put it on since I took it off. And originally, I left a note on the counter, with the ring there, and then decided to take it back. So I think to Sophie's point, you know, letting go of the past, you should have let it go entirely and not tried to make up and hold on to something that you thought was still possible. Because I left it not when I fully found out. When I saw all of their texts is when I left it. And then apologized.
Did he ask for it back?
No, he didn't.
So he didn't bother asking for it back. Okay, got it. I really hope you guys enjoyed that clip. If you want to watch the full-length podcast, you can find that over here, that clip's from. If you're newer to the channel, make sure you hit subscribe over here. And pinned down below in the top comment, you'll find a bunch of useful links to my website, my supplement line, books, and a bunch of other stuff. Have an amazing day. Peace out.